In this video, I'm going to show you how making one change to your body can perfect your surfing stance. Having a perfect surf stance is going to give you better balance and better control and better style all at the same time. But first, this is the mistake everyone makes. It's standing up too tall with your legs and hinging at the hips. This is what an incorrect surf stance looks like. The trick is to get it low. We got to change how you're hinging your body. And the big difference it makes is if you look like this, you have everything in the lower body is stiff, so you have no control. Balance, turning, maneuvering, all happens with that foundation down below. But if you have no movement down there, you have no way to control it. So it takes out your foundation. Because if you have no strength there, then you tip over and you can't control your board. As well, maneuvering happens so much with the upper body, right? So if you're hinged at the hip and you twist your upper body, you're going up and down vertical. You're not going horizontal like you need to be, right? So the trick is change some things about your body in order to get into this position, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So the one change you gotta make is a philosophical one. Instead of training muscles, train movements. So if you look at the stance, the bad stance, hinging at the hips, right? None of these are bending, your knees, your ankles. So it's a knee and an ankle fixed. So if you look at the proper stance, it's down low, your knees are out over your toes, and you're moving in this direction, right? So you're strong here, but you're mobile in your knee, and you're mobile in your ankle. So in order to get there, we do it progressively, but the goal that we want to is to get to this position, which is a knees over toes lunge. So you want your hamstring over your calf, covering it, your knee out past your toe, and your butt down as low as possible. And you want to be able to do it both sides, but you want to be able to do it for reps. This is the training movements part. So instead of training muscle, you're training all these movements. This one specific movement. So the workout will look like this. But not everyone can get there immediately, right? So the first step in the progression is just basically mimicking the stances, but doing it with the support of a wall. So it's an assisted knees over toes. So this is the hinging at the hip stance, and then this slightly brings the knees out over the toes, and it's really building the mobility in the ankle, getting your shin down more, and the mobility in the knee. So you do it for reps. Again, it's assisted to make it easier so there's less strain on it. And you build the range of mobility, but you also build the muscles as well too. And for me, I have one ankle that's less mobile, it's my back ankle, so this helps me a lot. And it's very simple. Very easy to do, and it's very safe to do as well because it's assisted and you can just go to where you feel resistance and it shouldn't be painful. And that's it, then you move on to the next one. Now step 2, which helps a lot for the ankle, is to put a weight over this, but then you don't have to go all the way butt down. You just start leaning in like this. And then once you get comfortable with those, your ankles, your knees are starting to become mobile, you can do elevated lunges. So you put your foot on something, a box or a chair, and then you begin to lean into it like that. Helps us so much to have that elevation. And then you progressively move it down and down and down until you get down to the floor. And then once you have that, you'll have the mobility, but you'll also have the control. So one important thing about training movements is you don't want to just build range of motion. That's an important part, but inside that new range of motion, you have to have strength at every level. So that's my definition of balance, is having control in a compromised position. So for you, if you're down low like this, you feel like you have no strength, you no control, that's a compromised position. But if you have strength all the way through all these ranges right here, you have all those control muscles, your ligaments are strong and mobile, that's when you have control of yourself. So you can eliminate the hinging at the hip stance and give it the hinging at the ankles and knees stance. You're low, and you know what's interesting about that is the head stays at the same place. Hinging at the hips, see where my head is in relationship to this? And then when I do like this, it's almost the same thing, right? Except for all the actions happening below the waist, and it gives you control of the upper body as well too. So that's it. 3 steps progression, 1 change to build movements, not muscles. Fix your stance, fix your balance, fix your maneuverability, fix your style, fix your surfing. Easy. So I hope you found that useful. It's important to note that progress in flexibility and range of motion strength takes time, and it takes commitment and consistency. So be gentle with yourself, but be very consistent. Cool thing about stretching is that you can do it multiple times a day, and these kind of movement exercises, your body's meant to move like that all day. So you could get down on the floor and be doing this all throughout the day. The big philosophical change from going from muscles to movement is huge because it really simplifies a whole world of exercise, right? So you just train movement patterns, multiple muscles, multiple joints at the same time, so your body becomes a system rather than isolating muscles and just focusing on static single stretches. So doing reps of stretches and reps of movement is how you get there. Now, this philosophy is a huge part of what we do in my main program, the Waterman Method. I call it surfing movement patterns. So we train surfing movement patterns, things like typical things are things like pop-up is the biggest one, duck dive's a big one, and then rotational stuff, balance stuff, all the things that come together to make like a complete surfing body, so that when you're out in the ocean and these things happen, it becomes natural because these movement patterns become ingrained in your nervous system. It's really, really cool stuff because when you're surfing, you may only get like a dozen waves or less. So that's limited attempts at using these muscles, right? So when you're doing these reps at home, it's like you surfed every single day, but it's like you caught like 100 waves, right? So when it does happen in real life, your body knows what to do. You don't have to think about it. And that's how you really progress and accelerate your progress as a surfer. So that's what we do. My program, I like to put it this way. We train like we surf every single day on big swells and catch every single wave and rip that wave. That's what the training mimics. So your body levels up to that of an expert level surfer, even though your skills aren't there yet. But if you've got the fitness of an expert level surfer, the body of an expert level surfer, the skills will follow way quicker because your skills will never outpace your fitness. If your fitness is down here, the skills aren't gonna pass it. So get this up there, skills come with it. That's what we do. So if you'd like more info on what we do, there's a link below in the description. There's a video that explains our whole process step by step, exactly how we do it. If you watch that video, it'll also tell you how you get involved with it if you choose to do so. My name is Kyle Russ. If you like these free videos, the easiest way to help me is to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It's totally free. You can always change your mind, and that's it. Kyle Russ here with Hydro Mind. Thanks a lot for watching.